What is up, guys? It's Seb. Welcome to the first episode of a series I'm going to call Road to 4K iRating. Week 1 of the new 2026 iRacing season. We're at Miami in the GT3s, and I'm starting on pole with 156.8. Not a great lap, but definitely not the worst lap. I've definitely done worse. We'll go for a quick lap around here in GT3. I'm racing in the Ferrari 296, one of my favorite cars. Brake right before the 100-meter mark. Trail into turn 1. Very tricky corner, honestly. It's very narrow coming out of it. Manage the throttle on turns 2 and 3. Sweeping right. Super calm. And then once you get past the 50, wait a little bit and then really get on the brake just very slightly, not that much. Through these corners, very sweeping. And this is probably my least favorite corner. I lose the car a little bit there, but it's such little braking, and like you really have to open up the corner, and it's just you just have to kind of figure it out as you learn the track, how much you can push the throttle before you have to start braking in a corner. So going into here, in the Porsche Cup, we'll get to that later, but you brake there kind of like right after the 150. Trail here, stay in second, and then really be careful here. The car loves to spin here on exit. Go down the first, go over these curbs. You really have to control your throttle there, because if not, you just spin out. And then you're on to the back straight. Yeah, Miami is it's a pretty fun track, I'm not gonna lie, but it is very tricky, especially the last sector to get right, especially in a car like the Ferrari, which like you really have to wait for it to turn. But here we brake kind of in between the 100 and 150, go down the first. I completely missed the apex, so don't do that, but get on throttle pretty early here. I kind of tipped the wall a little bit there, but it's enough to get us to that 156. Under 157 is good for about 2K iRating, I think. And yeah, that puts us into P1. So here we go, getting ready for the first GT3 sprint race of the season. Well, not quite the first one, but we'll get to that. We're P1 obviously, so we're able to get away pretty cleanly, I'd say. Usually when I'm P3, I'm able to follow P1 through there, but when you're P1, you're pretty much set. Gordon kind of takes a little look at the beginning, but really doesn't do anything there. Cold tires first lap, really tricky, so you just kind of have to be careful. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people tend to really push this first lap, which is fair. It is the first lap of a sprint race, but like you can lose the car very easily on this track, especially if it's open setup. If you're doing the 40-minute sprint race, be very careful in that car. It is very slippery unless you're doing fixed in that one as well. But if you're doing like a pro setup, it's very tricky. So going into this corner, braking at my usual mark, but Alexis tries to put the car in a little bit. I have to kind of squirm a little bit out of the way because I think he's really going to dive bomb, but he kind of backs out last second, so it ends up working out for me. And at this point, I'm really just trying to get away from the people behind me. It is lap 1, so I'm trying to be careful. But as soon as those tires are warmed up, I'm going to try to fly. Going down the back straightaway, we're trying to break the toe from Alexis, and we're going into the final corner of this Miami Autodrome circuit. And if we look behind us, yeah, let's take a closer look at that. Gordon is trying to make a move on Alexis because Gordon started P2, and he kind of goes for it, kind of backs out, and then goes for it again, and just slams into Alexis for pretty much no reason. I think Alexis had a pretty aggressive move at the beginning, but after the race, they had some pretty choice words for each other. So there's that. We move in a couple laps later. We're still doing pretty good. Pretty quiet race. I got away for the most part after that incident. I hit the wall here. I get an off track on that kink, and I get a slow down, so I kind of have to slow down. That's kind of the most entertaining part of this race. So that kind of goes to show it was a very quiet P1. So yeah, we're on the last lap. Pretty quiet race. Last corner. going over the curves, much better than my qualifying lap, that's for sure. But coming around here to take the first victory in the GT3 at Miami, so pretty happy with that. A little bit of a wiggle at the end there to celebrate. Yeah. So yeah, taking a look, we gained 88 iRating back to 2.2k. Kind of where I started week 13 of last season, and we'll get to that. We're third place in Division 5, and we're gonna take a look at the LMP3 trophy. We're also in Division 5 here, well, obviously, and we're P1 there. So yeah, starting the second race of the GT3s. Here's qualifying. This is our last lap of qualifying. A better lap, that's for sure, but still not a lap that I'm inherently proud of. It is a 156.6. I think in the end my PB was a 156.2 at the end of the week. But that's enough for second place at that time, and then third place as we grid up. So not bad. Like I said, if you're third place, you kind of follow first place through. But the main problem that I had this race was my wheel. And so at this point, like, I'm running the Fanatec CSL DD base, and sometimes I lose force feedback, and I've had this problem for a while, and it got worse, and I thought it got better because I got like I used to use the plastic Hero 1 clamp, and now I have like the metal one. And it was working for a while, and all of a sudden now it just kind of messed up. So now I kind of lost almost all my force feedback, and the wheel is misaligned. So like, you can see the wheel is straight here, but in real life it's not. So we get away. I believe I left second place space, but yeah, he just kind of runs into me. There was plenty of space on the inside. We're following P1 through from P3, not the way I expected it to go, but you know, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, still having that wheel problem. But if you guys made it this far into the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, especially this is my first video, so subscribing would help me a lot. But anyways, I kind of mess up here. Like I said, my wheel is really misaligned, so I'm overturning, and so my wheels are kind of just sliding across the track, which is really not good in the first lap. So I gotta slow down, almost hit this dude, and we're P3 again. But you know what? We kind of got away. Skip forward a little bit to the second lap, and we're kind of losing the guy in front, and my wheel is just kind of absolutely cooked here. It's still working kind of okay. I don't have any force feedback, or at least very minimal, and my wheel is misaligned. Like, it's straight on the screen, but it's not in real life. But then here, it just tries to kind of kill me. You can see, like, it just starts tugging extremely back and forth. And so I know, like, this has happened to me before, and anytime I let go of the wheel, it's just going to spin and then disconnect. So I knew instantly what was going to happen, and really when this happens, I can't really hold the wheel straight. And so I kind of try to pull to the side. The guy behind me kind of blinks and just kind of hits me as I try to slow down. And that's kind of the end of my race. I tow to pits, let go of my wheel, and it completely spins on me. It's better than with the plastic one, because the plastic one, it would just spin like 20 times. But with this one, it spun, as you can see there, like maybe once or twice, and then it kind of still worked. So I got out of the pits, very uneventful race, and yeah. I really have no words for that. He kind of pulls to the side on this back straight to let me past, but it's still just kind of like the nail in the coffin. Like, I'm obviously in last. I'm really not fighting for anything. I'm just trying to finish the race to not lose that much SR and maybe make up a couple spots for people that didn't finish. And yeah, that just kind of shows how my races at Miami were kind of going. I had that one win, but it has been kind of a struggle, and you're going to see that in the next race as well, which is actually the first race that I did, not the first race of this video, but the actual first race of Miami that I did, and we'll get to that. Minus 53. So not great. But here's actually race 1. And I kind of didn't want to show this because this is the open setup. The past 2 races were fixed. This is open. And this is my first race. And as you can see, in the open setup, I did a 157.0. Which did not put me in the top 3. I was gridded up 7th with that time, and considering it's an open setup, really not a great lap for me by any stretch of the imagination. So here we are, and as I mentioned before, the pro setups are very slippery, and so you're gonna kind of see chaos kind of start to ensue as the race gets on here. We get off kind of cleanly, but you can kind of tell it's my first race because I really don't know where everyone breaks. I kind of outbrake myself. The guy behind me kind of dive bombs inside of me. He makes it stick, but yeah, I get absolutely cooked. The Mustang that dive bombed me, he made it stick, but he just kind of didn't brake for the spinning Mustang, and I just got cooked. My car didn't turn on this corner, and I just kind of gave up after that. I believe I finished the race, but, you know, really nothing to show there. So, kind of unfortunate. I lost 88 iRating. And so after those races, you're kind of thinking like, what is a safe race I can do? The Porsche Cup at Miami. This thing wants to kill me. Yeah, so let's take a quick lap around here in the Porsche. It's actually a really fun car to drive, especially with the new update. I love the old Porsche, but it was really hard to drive. And this one's a lot better with ABS and traction control. You still have to be careful with the braking, because if you brake past 60-70%, it will like lock up on you, even with ABS. And so you just kind of have to be careful with that. But it is a pleasure to drive. You can kind of drift it almost and still save it. It's an amazing car to drive. But at a track like Miami, where like the braking power of this Porsche is not as good as the GT3, it's a little bit tricky. And as you can see, the sun is absolutely blinding me on this qualifying lap. Finishing this straightaway, we brake much more early than the GT3. GT3 we brake past the 150. This one we brake before the 150. A little bit of a slide there. This corner is kind of tricky in the Porsche because it just kind of likes to like drift off. And this corner again, it's really tricky. You kind of have to make sure the car doesn't slide out on you. But it's a really fun section. Once you get the hang of it, it's a super fun section to drive in the GT3 and the Porsche Cup. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun in this Porsche Cup. I was racing a lot in week 13 to try to get my safety rating up at Bathurst. I was losing so much iRating doing the MX-5 and the Porsche Cup, trying to get my safety rating up, and eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just going to win races, and I got my safety rating up to what I needed it to be to get to B class this season in like 3 Porsche Cup races. So that's why I'm in Division 5 instead of my usual Division 3. But we come across the line here with a 56.2, I believe, yeah. Really fast time, faster than my GT3 time, which is really interesting because I know there's a couple of endurance races that have the Porsche Cup and the GT3s, and now they're really close in speed. So I'm kind of interested to see like what happens there. Like, will we actually be mixed together? But anyways, here's the race start. I really kind of struggle on these Porsche starts. This one is not that bad. We're starting P2 in the grid. We get away kind of cleanly. Porsche tried to go on the inside on me, but you know, I kind of closed the door on him. And our guy in front, Jason, we're going to be following him pretty much this entire race. I'm going to call him the Weaver. All right, he's like a spider. You know how the spiders, they weave their webs? Yeah, he was weaving web all over the circuit. I didn't even know that, but like, but this guy behind, this is the other Seb in this race. He kind of goes off track there, and if you pass that white line, you get a slowdown. So he's gonna cut off to the left here and take his slowdown. So he loses, I believe he loses both of these positions at the end of this straightaway. Yeah, he ends up in 5th place. But I'm trying to get away from Tom here, and Jason immediately just starts weaving, which is totally fair. He's trying to break the toe. I'm about a second off of him, and so if he can get me off of him, it's basically like a free win for him, pretty much. So, but it was so funny because every single lap, even when we were trying to break away, and even if I wasn't weaving with him, he would still weave. So like here's lap 2, like I'm following him, and he's gonna start to proceed to weave again. But I try to like wiggle my steering wheel a little bit, just kind of show that like I want to work with him. But I don't think he really understood any of my emotions. We'll probably see it pretty soon. But I'm trying to get away from Tom here. We're almost to a 1 second gap, but not quite, going into lap 3. Still following Jason pretty closely. I feel like I could pass him. Yeah, we're about a second away from Tom now, which is pretty good. I feel like I could have passed Jason at some point here, but I just chose to stay behind him. There's no reason to fight when we're trying to get away from the people behind. And even after we kind of lost the P3 and back, I kind of decided to stay behind Jason for the most part, just kind of because it was safer. I didn't know the type of racer Jason was, and considering all of that weaving, I didn't know what type of move he was going to do. But as you just saw, Tom pretty much lost a toe from us, so we're pretty much good to go. We're still following Jason. I kind of wiggle my steering wheel, try to show him that, like, I'm not going to fight him. Like, I want to work with him. I want to get away from P3 as much as I can so we can secure at least 2nd place here. Because that's kind of what happens in the Porsche Cup cars. There's a group at the front that kind of goes away, and they kind of push each other, and it kind of locks those positions. Like if 4 drivers are off in the distance, then they're kind of going to stay in those positions unless they kind of crash into each other. So yeah, Jason weaving again this lap, the typical stuff that you see from him during this race. I'm gonna be honest, it was literally every lap he was weaving. Which is really funny to see. But yeah, we pretty much lost Tom here. Go on to a couple laps later, and we're still with Jason. He's still weaving. And we're about 2.5, 2.6 seconds away from Tom. But we're still cruising. And we get to a couple laps later here, or actually the end of the lap, and we're going to look at our telemetry, and Tom slows down, and then all of a sudden Tom and Shimek, they both kind of die. And I'm really confused as to what happened here, but we're on board with Tom now, and he goes around this turn, and he deliberately slows down. I don't know if he had to slow down or anything, but he gets in the way of Shimek trying to get around him, and they just kind of shunt into each other. Tom had plenty of space to go around, but obviously Tom wasn't happy with that move, and he just kind of retaliates, which is not very smart of him. I don't know why he slowed down, but here the telemetry kind of goes crazy again, or the relative, and I'm kind of confused as to what happened there. So we're gonna take a look. We're on board with the other Seb in this race, the one that started P3. I believe he was running P5 at this point, or he was actually running P3. And the guy in front of him was a lapped car. So he tries to defend from the 18 car, and the 18 car just kind of slams into him, and that's the end of the other Seb's race. He goes on for a couple corners, misses the corner, and just kind of quits. So, and I don't blame him. But we're on to the last lap here, and Jason still weaving. Even though it's the last lap, I keep spinning my wheel to show that I'm not gonna make a move on him, but he's still weaving. I weave a little bit myself, just to kind of show that I'm not going to do anything. But we finish up this Porsche Cup Car Series in week 1 with a 2nd place, which is pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Usually I run GT3 or LMP3. I don't run the Porsche Cup that often. And so to get a P2 result with, I'd say, probably 20 minutes of practice, I'm going to gladly take that. So we gained 84 I rating, gained some safety rating. We scored 122 championship points, which is perfect for Division 5. That's going to put us like way up there. And if we take a look at that, I believe we're second or third place in Division 5 here. Yep, second place for the Porsche Cup. So I'm very happy with that. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see next. If you guys want me to run that F4. I'm doing an F4 league on Monday, and I'm doing a GT3 league, but that doesn't start until January. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.